Hola amigos, soy Janie, esto es Fincaarte, bienvenidos. Especially welcome to all of my new subscribers, and a huge, enormous thank you to Elaine and Darren over at Pips Living Offgrid, who gave my channel a little plug, which was great. I got 45 new subscribers overnight. That's enormous for me. And I was really chuffed, honestly. Thank you so much. I just realised that I don't tend to do much of an introduction and a backstory because I feel like, well, I did that ages ago. But obviously, there's a whole load of new guys here now, and you don't know anything about me. I apologise for the noise of the cockerels. We have three... That's great. We have 3 bantam cockerels altogether. Sorry about the noise. Right, I'm going to put my gloves. It's windy. It's freezing this morning. It's obviously not freezing, but it's cold. Okay. Steve and I left the UK 10 years ago. We took early retirement, age 55, to come to Spain and start a hobby farm, really. This is something that we've wanted to do our whole married life, and we've been married for about 100 years now. Sometimes it really feels like that. We swapped a 4-bed semi-detached house in Oxfordshire, which is southern England, for I got something in my... We swapped that for 7 acres. Whoa! Oh my God, you just know. There is no way I'm going to catch this. No, he's gone. That was a very large eagle who was coming down very low. I'm not a wildlife photographer, and my camera isn't up to it, so I missed that. I apologise, you just have to take my word for it. Right, where was I? Yeah, we swapped a 4-bed semi-detached in southern England for 7 acres and a couple of small houses on that 7 acres here in southwest Spain. Many years ago, as I've said, when Steve and I first got married, our joint dream was to have a hobby farm in France. Well, this was pre-internet, pre-digital nomad days, and when I married Steve, I already had 2 children, and then we had 2 more, and Steve was in the Air Force, and we had commitments. There was no way we could just up and go to a foreign country and live the dream and do the good life, and we used to just dream about it and talk about it. And eventually, when we got to 55, and Steve's RAF pension kicked in, we kind of thought, well, the kids are grown up How we actually found this place is a whole other video. I'd be here all day. But we made the move. And what I absolutely love about the Pips Living Off-Grid is that when they talk about their experiences having just moved to Portugal and how they are beginning a new lifestyle and trying to be as eco-friendly as possible, trying to grow as much vegetables as they can, trying to live a more simple but more meaningful life, it just reminds me of everything that we went through when we came here. I didn't start doing the vlogs until just basically as the pandemic started, or just before the pandemic started. And my reason for starting them was simply to keep in touch with my kids and the wider family and all our friends who were like, are you mad? Are you crazy? In particular, at the time when we moved, we had elderly parents in the UK, and they found it very difficult. More difficult than our kids did. Fast forward 10 years, and this is where I am. Let's have a look at the garden, shall we? I'm actually quite pleased with how things are coming on. I'm going to take the camera off the stand and we'll go have a little tour. It's cauliflower or Romanesco. I cannot tell you which. Actually, it could even be broccoli. I'm not entirely sure. This is what we got. Look, see now, autumn. This is what we get an awful lot of. This is a fungus coming up. Bonnie, really? This is a fungus coming up, and I never know if this, well, I think this is a good thing. Yeah, you got wet feet, you need to get off me. I think it is a good thing that we have fungus coming up here, but I'm not sure that it's good that it comes up right so close to your veg and stuff. Mind you, this is the saffron. Which is done and dusted now, and in fact I need to look it up. I don't know when, but sometime soon I'm going to have to lift it and split the bulbs because they were very, very crowded this year. Because of, look, I wish you'd stop this, you're going to trip me up. Because of the rain that we've had recently, which was very, very welcome, all the weeds have come up. Now this was supposed to be a no-dig garden. I think actually this might be the broccoli, and this at the back here is spinach, and I think I could actually even maybe take some of, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe it needs to be a bit bigger before I start taking some. So anyway, all the weeds are coming up. There's loads like this, and these all coming up in between my veg, and it has to be weeded. I've had this conversation before. These people on the internet that have these wonderful no-dig gardens with virtually no weeds because they have big thick layers of mulch. I tried that. How do I explain? How do I explain? First of all, the no-dig. Well, you've got to dig it over to start with and get rid of all the weeds. And then you have to keep on top of every single little weed that comes up. Because even if you put a very, very thick layer of mulch down, it just depends on the weeds. The more persistent weeds still come through, and you've got to keep on top of it. I'm not terribly good at keeping on top of that sort of thing, mostly because I have other stuff to do. We'd had rain. I was very excited about the fact that we'd had rain, and of course the weeds were knee-high. In fact, I'll show you the little bit that hasn't been weeded. and you'll see what I mean. This bit, here I am standing in it, and some of it is almost up to my knees. Certainly that bit there is very, very bushy. To cut a long story short, the best weed suppressant I ever came across, and believe me, I have tried them all. Straw, no. Mulched olive leaves and barks and twigs, no. Cardboard, yeah. I put down a really, really thick layer of cardboard. I then covered the top of that with about 3 or 4 inches of soil and manure mixed. And that year I had virtually no weeds at all. But the cardboard breaks down, and I didn't know whether I could add cardboard again the following year. But I thought if I did, I would have to go and get another 4-inch layer of soil to put on the top of that. And we did collect soil the first time from another area in the finca, and we brought some strange kind of plant thing with it, which was a disaster, and it came up something terrible. So my brother very helpfully came and dug over the whole lot except for the little patch that I showed. And digging like that brings long dormant weed seeds closer to the surface where they can sprout again, and that's exactly what has happened. Now Steve has been pruning some of the olive trees and cutting the suckers off and mulching them, so I have some more mulch to put down. It doesn't stop these weeds, let me tell you, it really doesn't. But we also collected some manure. Now it's well rotted manure. My veg is already in. I'm a bit wary about using it. I don't know. I mean, I have some flower beds I'll put some on. But the veg that went in first, this lot over there, is looking so good. I'm in two minds about whether I want to put any manure on there. And the other stuff which was later going in is still very small, and I'm not sure that I should put it on there either. Too much manure is as bad as too little. How much is too much? Unless you're going to get very scientific and start taking soil samples, you're just going to have to go by experience. Maybe this is why it's taken 10 years for my garden to start producing well. Yeah, slow learner, slow learner. I wish I really worked that fast. This is the stuff that grew after me bringing soil in from somewhere else on the finca. It's actually attached to a tiny little bit of woody stem, and it's caused a major problem in the garden because the leaf does look similar to perhaps spinach, which this is, I've just pulled it up next to the spinach, and it's definitely not spinach. Honestly, weeds are not too much of an issue unless they're actually choking your plant. I tend to plant closer together than is recommended, and I find this suits the soil here. I didn't used to do that in the UK, but this suits the soil here. The olive mulch is great. I mean, no two ways about it. It's absolutely brilliant, and it can simply be put back down underneath the olive trees. It's also good in the garden because it's adding extra vegetable matter. The soil here is really sandy. There is nothing to it, and any nutrients that go in seem to just leach away with the first rain. So we've been trying to hummus, not the stuff you eat, I think that's what it's called. We've been trying to build it up since we got here. It's taken 10 years. I did not expect it to be that long. And when you see, again, YouTube is a fantastic thing, but it can also be very misleading, because when you watch these videos and people say things like, well, you add all this hummus to your soil, you work it in, and it looks like Bob's your uncle, your problem solved. But honestly, it wasn't. It's been a case of adding it every year for 10 years, and then my brother comes and digs it over and he says to me, oh, you need to add hummus. Ah! I'm going to say once again, thank you very much, Elaine and Darren, for the plug. It was great. And also, I would like to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed, both old and new. I hope you will like it here. I hope you will continue to watch. And please, if you think you know somebody who would enjoy my videos, share, let them know. Give me a thumbs up. Make a comment. Oh, I know what you could tell me. You could tell me where you're all from. Are you in mainland Europe? Are you in the UK? Are you in the States? Whereabouts in the world are you all from? Make a comment below. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody, and I will see you the next time. Adios.